Hey, this is the Online University Guy and Danny, your host. And what I wanted to do is just kind of make a, a video, an introduction of really what to expect with these videos. And if you're looking for something that's all nice and aesthetic and beautifully produced and professionally produced, all that stuff, it's just myself having a conversation with you, the viewer, and hopefully the communicator. What I'm doing with the Online University Guy is I am the Online University Guy, and you're participating with me in my journey through my higher education. And so, what it's all about is sharing my experience, what's worked for me, the the differences that I've experienced from the bricks and mortar, or what I call the BAM schools, and then you got the clicks and mortar, which is the CAM schools, and then of course the virtual classroom and those ecosystems. And just all the stuff that I've been able to experience. I just received my degree last year. Started at 48 years old, received my degree last year at basically 51. And I took a 6 month break, otherwise I would have gotten it sooner. I wanted to share the tools that have benefited me. Uh, Also give commentary on different stuff that's going on campus, on clicks and mortar campus, excuse me, on bricks and mortar campuses, and how it affects us in the virtual classroom or the virtual classroom ecosystem. So really, you're just having a conversation with me, and I hope that the information I give is beneficial. It might challenge at times. I am not one who's worried about political correctness when I cover topics like Title IX stuff, because I do cover that too. When I cover stuff that deals with diversity on the campus, my main major right now is communications and cultural communications within communities and organizations. So I will be covering stuff like that because those are things that are important to me. And then what I want to do also too is cover the differences between BAMs, CAMs, and virtual classrooms. BAMs being, uh, excuse me, being the bricks and mortar classroom, and then CAM being, of course, the clicks and mortar, which is a hybrid of both traditional and non-traditional or online classes. And then, of course, the fully virtual classroom where you're studying everything from to studying it on your phone to studying it on your tablet, which is this massive guy right here. And that's what I do. I have an actual tablet right here, which I'm reading from. I just wanted to show you that. This is a LG G Tab 7.0. It runs Android KitKat or 4.4.2. You can see there that I'm actually using Word as my outline here. And so there's a lot of cool stuff that I just want to share with the world, and also my opinions, and hopefully some of my educated and experienced opinions on why I believe that online university, online classes, online training is really a huge wave, and it's going to be a very integral part of future education as it is now. It's grown so much even since the last 3 years since I've been involved in online education, going after my own degree in communications. I also want to talk about, we're going to be covering stuff like technology. Once again, I showed you the phones, showed you the tablets, um, e-readers. I've got one of these here. This is an old one, but I have this e-reader, which of course is the Kindle Touch. Okay, I'm sorry about the glare there coming off the door there, the front sliding glass door there. But these are really cool, and I really like them. It's good to when you need to read a book. The only thing I didn't like about the Kindle is the way this Kindle, now they've gotten a little better, but is the way they render PDFs. And sometimes, in fact, actually, a lot of times, your textbooks are PDF, but not all the time now. Now I'm going to show you some stuff there, and we're going to cover all the different technologies. So I just want to kind of go, this is kind of an overview of what the Online University Guy is all about. Study tools. You'll see here that I've got this open. This is the online classroom of a virtual campus. This is part of the Colorado State University system. It's an actual, who's been around for over 100 years, well over 100 years. But they've started they've done this for a while, but California University, or California, because I live in California, Colorado State University Global Campus, which is their online campus, their virtual campus, their completely virtual campus. But it's also a benefit too, because those who are attending the bricks and mortar of the BAM school, their BAM school, is um, if there's some classes that are available, but they're on a schedule that that conflicts with their own work schedule and stuff, those classes most likely will be available online. So they can, once again, they have the hybrid, the CAM, the CAM school, which is the clicks and mortar, so they can take some of their classes at the campus. Because one of my sons, he's because his dad, me, hey, has earned his degree. It's like kind of kicked them in the, it's kind of pushed them in the right direction. And one of them is starting to go to school. He's in his late 20s. He's going back to school, and he's going after his degree. He likes the BAM classrooms because he likes that face-to-face interaction, which I get. I know that there are going to be trade-offs between a complete virtual classroom, a CAM classroom, and a BAM classroom. So just to clarify, those BAM, bricks and mortar, CAM, clicks and mortar, and then of course the virtual classrooms, which is completely online. But right now we are having face-to-face. It's just not immediate gratification because we're not doing it live. Well, you could, which is nice, and that's how we'll be dealing with those technologies there. Study tools. We talked about the study tools. I have this open here. There's different things that you can use to help enhance your study. And one of those things I would say, though, the first thing I would say is to really understand your learning style. There's different types of learning styles, which is important to understand. And there's some, like, you can even take some of these evaluations online, and they ask you a ton of questions, so they can kind of get an idea of what type of learner you are. I am what is called a multimodal learner. I can learn through just reading. I can learn through auditory, video, hands-on. When I started out, I was a very strong oral learner, which is someone who has to hear and see to learn. But as I started to build my skills once again in reading and writing, and learning to once again concentrate on what I'm reading comprehension, my whole learning style changed. And that's just because that's really the way I was when I was in school, but it's been, geez, I dropped out of high school back in a long time ago. But here I am today, got my degree, and I'm sharing that with you. So we're going to be talking about study tools, and then we're going to also be talking about time management and study habits, okay? Because I think the greatest challenge for online students, well, most students, but online students especially, at least it's been my experience talking to people, picking their brains, talking to, seeing the conversation taking place in an online classroom. Let me go ahead and go here. And really focusing on what it is, because people will talk about the challenges they have. The teacher's not giving me the grades that I need. I'm not turning in good work. It's a lot more challenging than I thought. One of the common things that I hear from people who've transitioned from a BAM classroom, okay, to a fully virtual classroom, a full online class, is the common thing is I didn't realize how much reading and writing is required, and how much self-discipline is required. A lot of people think that when you go to an online class, it's easy. Oh, you get to study whenever you want. You get to do whatever you want. It's just like people are trying to start an online business. They think, oh, it's going to be easy to do this because I just sit in front of my computer, punch in a few things, put it out there, and all of a sudden I'll be rich. It doesn't work that way. Taking classes online is going to challenge your time management skills, and it's going to challenge your study skills, because you're going to have to do all your work is writing. All your work is research and reading and watching videos. And some of the classes will have maybe some, live lectures are recorded because people in the classroom. I mean, in one class might have, well, most classes, in fact, every class that I've taken online has only roughly between 18 to 20 people max. That's it. They don't get any bigger than that. So you got a really small class size. I've had some classrooms that are really wonderful. There's only like 6, 7 people in it. And it's just powerful because you can really get into the meat of the stuff you're studying. You can't do that in a traditional classroom. Also, not everybody in a traditional class or a BAM classroom participates because you can kind of hide in the crowd. If you're one that's not used to speaking, that's uncomfortable about speaking out in front of people, uh, then you can hide yourself within the classroom because you got 30, 40 people in the classroom, 25 to 30, 40 people. Yeah, some of them are big, especially universities. I mean, they pack the classrooms, the BAM classrooms. Where with online or the completely virtual classroom, your class size is limited to no more than 20. Okay. You, in order to get the credit that you need for your studies and your participation, oh, that word always gets to me. Excuse me while I take a drink of some coffee here. You have to actually write, read, and research. Write, read, research. And I always understood reading, writing, and the 3 R's. Just like, wow, okay, I don't know how they came up with that. Anyways, online classes are a whole different thing. That's why I'm hoping that this will benefit those who are thinking about it or struggling. They've started an online class and they're like, this is a lot more than I thought. I was back to my son. I kind of was chasing a squirrel there. Um, my son took 50 credit hours at his local community college and 10 credits away from getting his degree. But because he works a couple of jobs, he had to stop after a while because it was interfering with his work. And you got to pay your bills, right? You got to eat, pay your rent, stuff like that. And he also has an expensive habit for musical instruments, which he likes to buy really good stuff. And I don't blame him because I play, we all play. So he asked me a bunch of questions about, he saw me graduate, he saw me get my degree, he saw all the work that I put into it, he saw all the study I put into it, and he'd be calling me when I was working on my first degree. What are you doing, Dad? I'm studying, doing some homework out, and then we'd talk for a while, and then that'd be it because I was busy doing my homework, doing my research. He went to the same school I'm going to now, which is here, Colorado State University. And he said it blew his mind on how much work is involved. He has a huge respect now for online campus students because your English has to be college, it has to be university level. Your writing skills have to be university level. Your reading comprehension is going to have to grow. You're going to have to work at it if you're challenged in that area because all you have to do is read. That's all you're going to be doing. You're going to be reading text. Okay, like if I were to go here, let me go ahead and open up this. I'm going to disappear behind this window here. If I go over here and I go over to my program and I open up, let's say schedule and grades. Let's go there. And this is my old this is my alma mater, uh, University of Phoenix, where I got my first degree. And hey, look at this. Oh, there we go. We're going to go schedule and grades, okay? And then we're going to go ahead and punch over this one right here. Now, if I were to go ahead and I wanted to kind of show you what a classroom would look like, which I wish I could because the classrooms are pretty much done now. So this is all the stuff that you have. So what you would be doing, let's say I go ahead and go in here to Spice of Life. I got it, let's go ahead and look at it. I know I'm kind of chasing a squirrel here, but I just want to kind of show you what you have to do. Now, this is what a classroom would look like, okay? And this is a new classroom in there. What you would do is you would go into your classroom, okay? And yeah, you go into your classroom, and then what you do is you'd have to go ahead and click on like your first chapter of stuff. Now, this is what's nice also about having stuff online. Okay, this is probably, oh, I know why, because this is not, this is required reading. And then what we would have is you'd have to read your books. You got to read your textbooks. You have to read them. It's right there in front of my face. Wow. Okay. Boop. I'm going to open this up. What this does, excuse me, what this does is I can go ahead and click on that if I wanted to, but you have to read your information. And then once you read your information, you have to participate in the class. So what I'm going to actually do is go back here, and I'm going to try to get you a classroom where I participated in before this all happened here. Now we got class messages. Okay, there we go. Let's go see all. Let's see if anything shows up. Now I'm kind of just giving you kind of a drive and allowing all this stuff. It's probably not going to load up because this was actually done. I think, yeah, the new classes weren't here, so this is not going to actually show up properly. I'm sorry. This was under the old style classroom, which I kind of liked better myself, but now I got used to it. So let's go ahead and go here, schedule and grades. And we'll go ahead and look at this. Now these were my classrooms, you know, A, B. And if I were to go and click on this, and I go into my communications theory class, this is what your classroom would look like. So what's going to happen is when you go to your classroom, you're going to have each chapter. Now we covered in 1 week, we covered 8 chapters. 8 chapters you have to read. And some people are good at skimming and stuff. What I do is I approach a textbook 3 times. Here I am going way off topic here, I'm sorry. But I'm just going to cover this real quick. This is the challenge. This guy's a really good teacher, by the way, Terry Marlar. If you go to University of Phoenix, he is a great teacher. Oh my. Anyways, sorry about that. I just saw a neighbor's car coming in. It's totaled out. Oh, it's terrible. Hope they're okay. Anyways, so I told you this is a conversation just between you and I and the classroom here. Studying online takes a lot of discipline. It's not what everybody thinks it is. And even when I thought I knew what it was, when I started, I was like, wow, you really have to set up your own schedule and stay on top of it. So what would happen in a class is you have to read your material, so you got to read your chapters. So you had 8 chapters to cover. That's a lot of reading, okay? Then not only that, you have to get involved in the classroom, and I'll show you what this is here. This is the reading, which is nice about another great thing about the tools that are available, study tools. You have your textbook online, so this helped me, and I'll get into that later about other stuff. But anyways, I don't want to get out of time. I'm sorry, I'm just kind of shooting off my mouth here. Discussion on learning activity. What would happen is this is where the discussion would take place. This is where you get your participation, and so you would have to read all these different. Somebody would put up a post and you got to read it. They have to be a certain amount of words per post minimum, and you have to use APA references, at least in this school you do, which is the American Psychiatric Association, Psychologists Association. APA is the format that they use, and so you'd have to reference everything if you want to go ahead and read what was going on. I mean, these are the conversations. See, the student here would post what he thought about something, and then you just have your conversation. It's a lot like a forum where you discuss things with people. So, but it's all reading. It's all writing. I mean, you are literally going to be challenged in your reading and writing and comprehension skills, your English grammar skills, because there are some teachers like Mr. Marlar who graded us on our grammar even within this format here. And you'll notice that some people, they were, like this here, this person didn't get any credit for this because this was too short. You can't do that, okay? Unless, of course, like you said, he was doing a reference there. The teachers look at that. So you're just having to read and write, and I think that's a benefit because it forces the student to actually think about what they're going to post before they post it. And it allows the other students to read hopefully a well thought out response. And we'll see that in some other classes. But right now, I just want to talk about time management because you are going to have to really set aside time. That's part of time management. That's one of the biggest challenges of online for students that are taking classes online is their time management. My son, back to my son again, as he was starting his classes, I finally asked him, hey, how's it going with your classes? And he's like, I'm barely passing them. And I said, what's going on? And he's like, it really does. It takes a lot of time, and I'm terrible at time management. I said, well, if I can help, let me know. And he pulled it together and he's sticking it out. It's not as easy as a lot of people think. In fact, actually, I think in some ways, in fact, actually, some studies have shown in some ways it is actually more challenging. And I think that's also another reason why a lot of online schools have a higher uh, dropout rate. And I know a lot of people don't like to use that word, but that's reality. You'll find out about me. I'm not politically correct. There's a reason why they have a higher dropout rate is because people do not expect. And so what's happened, they do not expect the work that's involved. And so what's happened is a lot of these schools now, like CSU Global, that I'm going to, Colorado State University Global, and University of Phoenix, before you can start your main classes, you have to take an orientation class. And that way you become familiar with how the classes are. With University of Phoenix, I actually like the way they approach the student because you take a 3-week class, you have to pass it before you can start your main classes, before you can start working on your degree and your general education, all that stuff. You have to go through 3 weeks of class, and it's the same thing there. In that program, it was Monday through Sunday was your class week. You have all your homework turned in by Sunday, 11:59, 59 second their time, because they're an hour ahead from where I'm at in California, and depending on where you lived, you had to make sure that you're looking at their servers to find out what time it was in their world. And this is what I'm talking about right here. See, it's Arizona time, so it's 2:04 right now, and it's also it's 1:04 here. So they're an hour ahead. That's because we haven't hit daylight savings time, so they're an hour ahead. So you'd actually have to remember to turn your stuff in. I usually gave myself about an hour or two before the deadline to get my stuff in if I was going to be that crazy to get that close to it. But always make sure, time management is what it's what hurts students. So we're going to be discussing about time management issues and then even campus life, and that deals with stuff like what's going on in the different campuses today, whether it's a BAM school, or the hybrid schooling, which is the CAM, which is the clicks and mortar, or even and how it affects us online. Men especially, I do focus a lot of studies on men and boys and how education is affecting them today. So it's important to really get the whole picture of what's going on. And I want to be able to share my experiences too with you and what's worked for me and how I was able to get through my first degree. And even though there was times that I was just like, wow, man, this is tough. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make it through. All of us go through that at some point, you know. And on the rare occasion that somebody is more insane than I am, and they love every minute of the challenge, that's cool. But the average person, generally speaking, it's going to be a challenge, and you're going to need to be self-disciplined. You're going to need to be, you need to have, to me, actually, I think there should be online mentors who hook up with us in the good sense, get your mind out of the gutter, um, who are there to, how are things going, just kind of like that person. It's like a school friend, a school buddy, um, but really a mentor, a coach, a school life coach who will help us fine tune our studying skills and help us, to take it to the next level so that we can really achieve our goals. Anyways, this is just an interview to the online university guy. My name is Danny, and I encourage you to leave your information down there. To leave, or actually, I should say, to leave your comments. I don't mind. One thing I will say, if you troll, your comments will be killed. I always say that before almost everything I do, because there are people who troll just because and there's some studies on trolls by psychologists, and it's very interesting. But anyways, leave your comments, leave some ideas if you have something that you want covered, or you think I should in the days ahead and in months ahead. I hope you enjoy this. I hope it's been beneficial to some extent. I really do believe that online university is the way to go of the future, especially for young men and older men, because of the current political climate on BAM campuses, the bricks and mortar campuses, traditional schools, traditional universities, but also because you can tailor your schedule around your work schedule, your family schedule. You can do stuff when you're on vacation. Okay, as long as you got internet access, you're ready to rock and roll. And even if you don't, you do all your work on your tablet or on your phone or whatever you got to do. And then you just go ahead and when you do get internet access, boom, send it off and you're good to go. But anyways, I hope this will be a benefit to all. I know it'll help me to better my communication skills. This is the first real program on YouTube I've done. So be gentle, but also let's walk through this education thing together. I really look forward to it because you know what? No matter what people say in media or you know, how people are slamming, you know, higher education, yeah, everything has its good and its bads. There's positives and negatives. There's challenges and no challenges. Whatever the case is, don't let anybody tell you as a student or thinking of becoming a student that it's not worth it because it is. I have an opportunity right now I'm working on for employment that I wouldn't have had the opportunity. The door would not even been open to me would I have not had my degree. So, as I say, keep studying. Why? Because it does make a difference. Hey, this is the Online University Guy, Danny, your host, and we'll talk again. And I look forward to it. I hope you do too. Have a great day. Keep studying.